Hello everyone, welcome to the very first episode of the brand new show Don't Know Get to Know. This is the first proper episode. There is an introduction episode out now, so you can go check that out if you want to. This is the very first episode with a proper guest. Today I'm going to be getting to know Zoka the Author. He's a London-based up-and-coming rapper. He's very good. I've seen him live just the once, but he's done a few live shows, and he's a very good artist. So go check out some of his stuff. Like I say, this is the first episode of Don't Know Get to Know, so I would really love it if you could show some support by going over to YouTube if you're not watching on YouTube already, and liking, subscribing on whatever platform you're on. And if you are on a platform that allows you to leave a review, be sure to leave a good review. I'd really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. I'm joined today by Nicholas, but also goes by the name of Zoka the Author. You may have heard of him. You may have seen me share him on my private stuff because he's quite a good up-and-coming artist who not grew up in this area, but went to university in this area that I live in. And so, Nicholas, would you like to give yourself another intro?
If you don't know, get to know. Yeah, man. Yeah, Nicholas. To those who know me, to those who know me slightly less but know me in different capacity, Zoka the Author. Yeah, I make music. I did English and creative writing degree at the University of East Anglia. Yeah, so I come from sort of poetry / story writing background, thus my name. And yeah, and that kind of has turned into music, and I really enjoy it.
That's good. Yeah. If you may not if you follow me on social media, you'd have seen I share his songs whenever I come across him, and I follow him on Spotify. He's quite good. I've seen him perform live as well, which not many people can say now that we're in lockdowns and stuff like that. So if you obviously don't know him, you should really get to know him, because he could be blowing up the charts any day now.
Listen, it's coming. Like, you lot don't. You guys don't know the tunes that are coming. Like, these songs are gonna check. Like, all right, I'll put it this way. The last tune that I made, my producer was like, "This is going to change your life." Like, you guys don't know what I'm sitting on. I'm telling you, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, and you're pulling out numbers as well recently. I've been seeing on the gram.
We're getting there. We're getting there, man. I mean, it's definitely a good foundation. I'm very proud. I'm not really a super numbers focused person.
Yeah, you're not a stat
I have
man.
to be to some extent, but because particularly within a lockdown, numbers are some of the only indication you get of who actually gives a shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I was proud, man. We managed to. So I was aiming for 10K streams. That was one of my goals by the end of 2020.
Yeah,
and managed to hit double that. So 20K streams on a particular song.
Yeah.
And overall, Reflections must have hit roughly almost 50K. We didn't quite hit 50K. We got 47K, but 47K streams.
Yeah, that's pretty good, especially for a first EP as well. I think it is your first EP. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it is. I mean, under the Zoka the Author name. So I kind of in my professional phase of my life, yes. Before that, I released under the Zoka name, but I don't count those projects as proper projects because I was not at a professional level. That was a hobby, whereas this is my actual career mode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So when did you make the switch from what you were before to Zoka the Author, the professional?
So that was actually when I graduated. Because it was just I'm kind of just moving into doing music. Well, at that time, it was basically full time. It was kind of, uni was the big drain. Was a big drain in terms of focus in my life. Not in a negative way, but it took 50% of my time because it was important to me that I, got the most out of that experience and got that degree. After I graduated, every single facet of my life has swiveled into orientating around music. It's just swallowed everything. And it just sort of coincided with just a space where I was writing a lot better stuff. I'd done my training wheels phase. You know what I mean? I'd grown enough as an artist. And prior to that point, everything that I'd been making by the time I released it, I was no longer proud of it.
Okay.
Whereas when I graduated and the stuff that I started to write in that summer, I was like, this is stuff that I genuinely think, like I felt like I found kind of the sound that I want, the style that or some level, like I knew more of who I was as an artist and this level of quality that I was giving and that was of the music that I was creating. Very much helped by some my executive producers is what I call them, but 2 producers / sound engineers / like advice givers who I met at around that time as well, who really elevated the quality of my sound. It was only at that time where I was like, okay, this kind of music is stuff that I'm going to be proud of. Even a year from now, 5 years from now, I will be happy with this product because it is at a professional level. Everything prior to that, I don't rate. Barring a few songs here and there. But in terms of as bodies of work, I'm just like...
That's fair enough. So when you talk about like your previous work before you became like, I guess, we'll say full-time, where does that lie, the album that you did for your university degree? Is that...
so that's the reason why that never came out is because I don't rate it. Like, I rate it as a proof of concept. Someone hit me up on Twitter recently, was like, oh, I want to hear your magnum opus. And I was like, man, the stuff that I've dropped now is a million times better than that. It's nowhere near my magnum opus. It's more of a proof of concept in the sense that what I did or attempted to do with that EP, from a writing perspective, like as in from a poetic perspective and an artistic perspective, it was admirable. Like, because I tried to push what an album could do past what it normally is expected to do. I incorporated lots of different media into it, and I made it. I think what I do, a really big central part of my brand is I take people on journeys, and that's definitely what I accomplished with that album that I did for my degree, my dissertation. But in terms of like, again, the levels of sound engineering weren't what they are now. From a songwriting perspective, so whilst the poetry of the project was good, as in like, the lyrics had poetic merit, but from a songwriting perspective, I still had a lot to learn at the time. Beats weren't as good or intricate. Just at every level, from a sonic perspective, it wasn't hitting the way I think it should be hitting, or the way things hit now. And I'm increasingly hitting more now. Do you know what I mean? So that's where that lies in that. I think, as I said, it stands for me as a proof of concept of the kind of, when I eventually do drop my debut album, you will see, like, you will know, because that is going to be something genre defying, like even more than genre defying. What's the word I'm looking for? Art, like, you know what I mean? Like the form of art. I can't remember but you know what I mean? Like, it's going to come to me in a bit. I'm tired. But as in, like, it's going to defy what you would normally expect an album,
like
a music
break
album.
boundaries, sort of.
Exactly. It's going to break boundaries, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fuse everything and just push the boundaries of what hip hop, what rap, what music can do, and just make the album a much more visceral experience. I make it feel like you're really in a movie almost, or do you know what I mean? Like, you're in it, you're being taken through it in a way that is really grabbing. It's not just a collection of songs. Do you know what I mean?
I think I get your drift. But I think you've got, in a way, as an artist, that's what you have to do, because otherwise you'll just be like everyone else, and then you won't have anything that will stick out and for people to listen to you.
But a lot of people are like happy to settle for that, and props to them, because it is a quicker route to success in some regards. Like, I could get further quicker and probably have a much less long-lasting career, but I could get further quicker just doing what's popping. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's loads of artists who do that and pop. Do you know what I mean? And shout, good for them. Do you know what I mean? But it's my goals are not to make. My goals are not financially orientated. I want to make enough money that I'm able to sustain the career, but I don't care about quick success. Like, my goal is to make something, a body of work that transcends time and that reminds like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that transcends time and that will always bring people back to it. Do you know what I mean? And that is really,
Sort of
yeah,
creating a legacy.
exactly. That's exactly it. I want to leave a legacy. Um, I want I want to make something for the history books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So I take it then that we'll never be able to hear that University album, no matter how far because it got quite a bit of traction, didn't it? Like I remember seeing articles. Well, I
Yeah,
remember you sharing articles that were like from Japan and Germany and all sorts of corners of the globe.
yeah.
What was it sort of like to get all that sort of media attention, like just from your university album
Yeah, I really
that people had never even heard, let alone.
exactly. I really wish that I was at this stage as an artist now
Yeah.
at that time, because had I been, I would have been able to capitalize on that so much more because I would have just had much better music out. So the attention that I had would have endured longer, I think, and would have
Yeah.
had a bigger impact. But alas, I was not, and it is what it is. But it was really cool though. It was a cool feeling because it was the first time that I felt like I was I view my purpose on this earth is to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of why I do it. It's my reason. And it was the first time that I got a taste of what that felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was getting DMs like, oh yeah, like, we're showing your article in schools and it's really inspiring kids and blah, blah, blah. I'm showing your interview and that's amazing. Like even at the school that I work at right now, they've shown that. And I'm like, wow, like, it's the fact that I've seen kids, there's certain kids who are just like, wow, like really inspired by that. Like I remember in my last few weeks before term ended in 2020, they wanted me to go in between some classrooms in year 5 and talk about just, the process of the creation of art and stuff, because they were all working on personal projects. And every single class was just really, really taken by what I had to say, which is really amazing. It just does feel amazing to be able to have an impact on these lives and hopefully, in a positive way.
Yeah. Have you seen, this is sort of not changing the topic, but also keeping it similar, but have you seen the new Disney film Soul?
I need to. I haven't. I've seen it advertised. Black Twitter is talking about it a lot, but I've not seen
Well,
it.
I won't spoil it, but there's sort of the whole film sort of revolves around like finding your spark in a way, and the way it sort of they show it in the film is in the before life there are these people who are from the afterlife and they go around all these new creations or people who are about new souls, we'll say, and they go around showing them what they've done in their life, and then they help the new souls find their spark. So in a way I'm seeing this as you're being your teacher self, going around all the classrooms. You're not all the kids obviously, but a lot of these kids will probably find their spark through your story, and I think that's quite like, as you say, it's inspiring for a lot of them.
I literally got to see it happen, and that's something that I really missed this year, to be honest, because obviously no shows and stuff. So shows were another way that I was able to sort of see the effect that my music and what I'm doing was doing, like literally physically see it. And I've obviously been unable to do that, but I literally got to see it happen with these kids, which was just so gratifying. So so that was a really cool time in my life.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you brought up shows there, because that means we can nicely segue into the nice section. I remember seeing you, I think it was at the Oxfam charity thing, and that was brilliant. And obviously it's a room full of strangers who probably just went for the experience of a Tiny Desk Vibe concert, but it was really good. Loads of people like just vibing to music, and I remember you had your own headlining event just before the first lockdown, or a couple of months before the first lockdown. What's it like going up on stage and performing to a bunch of people that some you may know, but a lot of the people you just have no idea who they are? Is it something that you like thrive off? And obviously as an artist, I guess you do have to get used to the fact that you're performing in front of a load of strangers, but what is it sort of like for you going up on stage performing?
Oh, good question, actually. I've actually never been asked that before, so that's a very good question.
Well, we like to break the boundaries here on Don't Know Get to Know.
How does it feel? It's different every time. It is different every time. It depends on the room and the vibe in that room. That really has a big effect on it. Um, so when I went into career mode, I was performing left, right, and center, doing open mics pretty much every week. I was just on crud because performing, I love performing. Like, it is a real big part of, it was a massive part of my strategy. It's probably my biggest strength as an artist. I just feel like it, within my performances, I'm able to connect to people because people get to see the full extent of my character in ways that is just not possible through a sound recording or through a post or some text or whatever it is, or even like a video. You just can't get that same feel of who I am. Whereas, and for whatever reason, like, you know, I'm blessed enough to have a character that, yeah, people seem to gravitate towards. And so that, yeah, that does, and it's amazing to see just the full, like, when I perform, it very much feels like the full potential of what my music is or should be is realized, because I get to, as I was saying earlier, I get to see the effect that it has on these strangers in this room. Like, so I bear, like, they no longer feel like strangers after the time, because I've bared my soul to, all my songs are very personal, so I've bared my soul to you. I've literally invited you into my heart. You know what I mean? Like, I've just been like, you know, I've made myself, performing is this act of making yourself vulnerable to strangers, really. And I have massive respect to anyone who's able to do that in a genuine way, because yeah, it requires a certain level of courage to just sort of do that. But that's why at the end of it, you no longer feel like strangers with the person. Like, you know, at the Oxfam show, I had conversations with a lot of those strangers afterwards, and I felt like really like, oh, right, yeah, you know. And it's just, it becomes this really nice, intimate experience. And I think that the full possibilities of that were realized at my headline show at the O2 Academy, Islington, because I think what we accomplished that night was truly special. I'd never connected with so many, like, so it was like that open mic feeling of intimacy, but on a much wider scale, because obviously it was my biggest show yet. Like, you know, I personally sold, overall, I think the event was sold out. I sold over 100 tickets, I think, if I remember correctly. And some of those people were friends, and some of my really close people, some of those not so much, or people who knew me from my music and stuff like that. But I was able to completely absorb all of those people into this experience. And prior, I was fine up until the point they started calling my name outside. Like, oh God, so I'd never had that before. And I was like, wow, I've sold these people, like all these people, I've told them how, you know, this event is going to be amazing. And I've been putting in work to make sure that this was the best show of my life. And it was the best day of my life, hands down, to be honest. But at that moment, I was like, raw, I actually have to be this.
You have to be Zoka.
I have to be Zoka. I can't be like, do you know what I mean? Like, I have to be as sick as they expect me to be. And then obviously I came out and I was like shitting myself. Like, I've never, honestly, the feeling of fear when I got onto that stage, I've never experienced anything like it in any of my other performances. I guess because, they were just smaller or whatever, but it was just like, when I stepped, like, I've never wanted to run so much. And it was literally that, this is why I say it requires a certain level of courage, because you have that fight or flight instinct, and every like part of you is like, oh, get me out. I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
But then you just push through that. And on the other side of that fear of exposing yourself and being vulnerable is just this immensely rewarding experience, both for the audience and for the performer, that is honestly just indescribable. Like, I'm so blessed to have had that evening, because I just felt like we connected with everyone there. And obviously the live band and the way I even structured the show was, I think, a bit quite innovative as well. Because we structured it like around a story sort of thing. So it was like almost like a storytelling evening. You had a couple songs to like break the ice a little bit. And then we took people through the story of Reflections and what it meant. And you know, we had like characters and stuff, and the band was like playing atmospheric background music, and then that would lead seamlessly into the next song. And yeah, at the end, it just felt amazing. Got an encore, which I never had. Like, it was nice. Incredible. It was honestly a madness. As I said, best night of my life. And after that night, again, whether we knew each other or not, everyone was my like best friend afterwards. I was, like, going around. We went out afterwards with a lot of the people. I was a bit shambolic at organizing it. I probably could have been a bit better, but yeah, I just took everyone and we went somewhere. But yeah, so that's what it. I know I said a lot, but hopefully from all of that, you got kind of a sense of.
Yeah, there's definitely a clip in there for Instagram for sure. So yeah. I had a follow-up question, but I've forgotten it already. So that shows. Oh yeah, did you release Reflections, your EP, before you did your show, or was that something that happened afterwards?
Way after, man. Way after. So I had, and this is also, it should give you an idea of how long shit takes to come together sometimes. We could have been a bit more efficient in that process, to be fair, as well. We had some delays because lockdown, and then some features that didn't work out, and then we tried to get extra instrumentation, bits and bobs, essentially. But anyway, what may surprise you, Reflections as an EP was finished in terms of writing by December of 2019.
Okay. And
it came out in December of 2020. The headline show was in February of 2020. And I'd already written, and like, you know, those songs did not change from that point. You know what I mean?
I don't know why, but it feels like Reflections has been out for ages. It's only been like, because we record it, for those at home, we're recording this in January, so it's obviously not been as long as I had thought since it came out. But I feel like it's been out since at least the summer. But maybe that was one of your singles that came out. I don't know. No.
So I dropped The Mindset, the first single, in conjunction with the headline show in February. Then I didn't drop anything for time. I dropped like freestyles and stuff, but nothing from Reflections. First single from Reflections, and then when I started dropping Reflections bit by bit, I dropped it in September.
Yeah.
Unintentional Flex, and then just kept them coming every month after that. So it was bit by bit up until the full EP was out in December. So that might feel, because I've been building towards it for ages. And also the other thing is that some of the songs, even for example, let's take Unintentional Flex, that's been being performed even prior to me thinking of Reflections.
Yeah.
But there was a different version of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was
I think also the fact that I've always said that 2020 has been the longest and shortest year at the same time. So my whole time scale has just been messed up. But yeah. Well, I think if you haven't listened to Reflections already, or if you've never heard any Zoka song, a link to his, I'll probably put the Spotify because that's what I use, but I'll probably try and find a way of putting Apple Music in there as well. So head over there.
I've got a hyperlink that links to both, so I can send that to you.
Well, there we go then. We'll sort that. That hyperlink will be in the description of this, so go have a look, and also check out some of his music videos as well after this, because he's got some really good music videos. Some that from a media perspective, I'm more of the film type. I'm not so much on the music. I love listening to music, but I can appreciate the music videos just as much as the song. And I remember your first one, I was like, well, this is mad, this is amazing. So we'll talk a bit more about music videos, because we're gonna in a little bit, because we're gonna have a little break now for a game and an ad as well. So yeah, I think that's sort of the first half of this podcast episode done. So we'll catch you in a little bit, and yeah, stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to talk to you about a nice small jewellery business located in the UK called Hippie Craft Creations. Now, I know the person who runs this business, he's a great guy, so be sure to go over, show some support. He makes earrings, rings, he's got a few that are like a base one, but he does custom orders, so you should be able to make whatever you're after. They are very, very well made. He specialises, I think, in rings, I don't know, but he's a great guy. Be sure to go over there, check him out. And yeah, very good prices as well. Unfortunately there's not a discount code, but I'm sure if you said, oh, I found out about you through Don't Know Get to Know, he might be able to sort something out for you, but don't hold me to that. But yeah, be sure to let them know that we sent you. So yeah, Hippie Craft Creations, you can find them on etsy.com/UK/shop/Hippie Craft Creations. You can check them out on Instagram as well. They are at Hippiecraft Creations. Is exactly as it is said, but their links will be down below in case you don't know how to spell Hippiecraft Creations. Yeah, Hippiecraft Creations. Check them out. Welcome back to part 2 of Don't Know Get to Know Zoka edition. As we've said, we're going to be talking more about him and his music and lots of other stuff as well. But before that, we're going to have a bit of fun. We're going to play a nice game. This one is heavily inspired from the TV show Would I Lie to You? And I've got Zoka to prepare some sort of story or line, and I'm going to try and guess if it's real or if it's a lie. So Zoka, what is your story?
So when I was at uni, I peed myself outside. Well, after a night out, I peed myself outside the on the doorstep of one of the girls I was dating at the time.
Oh wow! I thought you were going to say like outside the club or something, but outside someone's house. Hey, so how much did you have to drink that night?
A lot. I can't remember the exact amount, but it was
Do you
it was
remember?
enough that my bladder control was clearly not there between the blue bar and
Yeah.
the girl's house.
So, do you remember what type of drink it was? Was it a mix of things, or was it strictly
We
vodka?
drank a good amount. I remember I drank like vodka and orange juice at Pre's
Yeah.
because that's what I was into at the time. Because first year in it, like
Yeah.
you're just on crud, and then no, I think it was just a fuck ton of vodka, and then then we got my friends bought drinks at the club as well. I was broke, so I was not buying, but
Yeah.
they were
Don't
buying.
pay the club prices either.
Yeah.
Drink at home and then go.
So what's it called? The ones with the Red Bull in them.
Oh, Jaeger bombs.
Yeah, there was some of
Okay.
that. I got a vodka. I was on vodka. Like, so I had one of them little bottles of vodka.
Yeah.
And I bought vodka lemon there. I think I'd also drank beers as well at Pre's as well, because
Okay.
obviously I love me a cheeky beer as well.
Yeah.
Contributed to the bladder issues. But anyway, yeah.
Okay. And
So
so you go to the club, you have your fun. Do you then leave the club and then go to her house, or do you leave, go home, and then right, it's time to go to the girl's house?
straight to her house, straight to her house. I was
And
because
you were
again,
still.
I was on crud. I was impulsive. If I'd gone home, I would have followed asleep immediately. Like I was on impulsive vibes. Like I was just like, man, I'm trying to see her. So
Yeah. So you, at this stage, I'm guessing at this stage you were still together. Are you? Wait, are you still with this person?
no.
Okay,
No,
so
no. This was in my single time.
this
So
was like,
this was a casual situation as well.
and you
which
said
made it worse.
you're in first year on crud, so this was about 3 or 4 years ago. Okay, so you're going on to that, and then at what stage you decide it's time for a wee?
So I call her like, yo, I really need to go. Like, I
Yeah.
really need to go, kind of thing. Because I like, so she was older. She was in second year, so her house was not on campus.
Yeah.
So I was just like, bro, like, fam, when you like, don't, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
literally, like, you know, them ones when you're on the doorstep. So that's when you feel like your body adds the extra pressure, because that's when you think So that's what happened, and she literally opened the doors as I.
As you got, okay. I don't know if I have any more follow-up questions or not, because I don't know. Of all the things I asked, like when I asked you, could you think of a story? This is by far the thing I would not have expected to be hearing about, even if it's like a lie. It's such a good. Yeah, I'm a bit taken aback.
Creative.
Very creative, yeah. So, all right, I think I'm gonna lock in an answer. I don't think I've got any more questions. I can't think of any more, so I think it's time to lock in an answer. And I am going to lock this in to be true.
It's a lie. It's a lie. but to be fair to you, I took elements from true events that like didn't happen to me, but like happened to friends that I thought how can I? Do you know what I mean? So apologies. You know who you are in it. Like, I'm sorry if I expose part of your story and you're happen to be watching this. But, yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much for thinking of that very creative story. Yeah. All right, let's get back into it. So, music videos. How many music videos have you done now
One,
that are
actually.
released? Just the one.
Yeah, just one. So one proper music video. I've got like lots of freestyle videos,
Hmm.
like teaser videos, things that are more or less songs, but I haven't called them songs because they're not out like on streaming platforms, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but so I've got lots of video content, but I actually have only one music video. And even then, that music video was for a song that I hadn't released in my
Yeah.
professional time. So it was a song called No Chains from yeah, one of the EPs in the Zoka days before I added
The
the
author.
author to my name.
Yeah.
So yeah, but so it's just the one. But I'm gonna be dropping at least one more, literally this month, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. So hopefully by the time that this episode's out, because I'm planning on it coming out in February or March time. Hopefully by the time you listen to this, you'll have another music video to go and watch. So,
And I
like I
think this
said,
music video is going to be special as well. We went in like it's going to be partially a documentary, hopefully, as
yeah,
well at the same time. So yeah, I'm really hoping people will like it. I think it could be quite cool. I think also it's quite timely for the period that we're in right now, where
yeah.
everyone's locked in. So yeah.
Good. And when you're making these music videos, do you like enjoy going out and filming them, or do you get sort of when you're out there, do you like sort of curl in and like not want to be there, or is it something you live for?
Music videos are fun, man. Music videos are fun. It's yeah, it's always a bit of an adventure. And also so my video guy is my boy from secondary school. His
Hmm.
name's Pedro. Or his videographer name is Pedspective. And he's amazing. Like he's sick and he's just good vibes as well. So because we're friends. So it's
Yeah,
just banter the whole time. Do you know what I mean? Like we're just cracking jokes and having fun.
I'm surprised to hear that you actually get work done.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because yeah, we'll talk. So he's probably sick of me to be honest, because I'm just always on his line. Um, but yeah, it has kind of it's one of them ones actually where the work has sort of even strengthened our friendship because
Yeah.
I have to talk to him literally on a regular basis. Like he's the only person. Luckily, I'm so lucky he's my friend as well because you know in these last few months where we've been locked down in tier 4, he's the only person I can justify seeing. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I get to combine my work with social. I kind of get a bit of my social life from there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ah, it's good to hear. Yeah, I remember seeing the one for No Chains, and I was like, that sort of like got me on board with the whole Zoka thing, and that sort of like I remember. I think I first heard you on one of the radio shows at UWE. I can't remember. It was Make Your Mark. I think that was the name of it, and then that's how I heard about you. And then that sort of I wanted to support more local artists. I know that you're not really local for me anymore, but I still wanted to support the up and coming
be
ones.
repping Norfolk, man.
Yeah, so
Also, like Norfolk has supported me so much.
hmm.
Like, as like you know, BBC intro Norfolk has like is who got me my play on BBC Radio 2 with Joe
Yeah,
Wiley, which is sick. Do you know what I mean? Like they've been supporting me from day dot. Like, and so I've always got massive love for Norfolk. And also just because yeah, of my experience at UEA, like at the end of the day, it helped to form me into who I am now, both as
yeah,
a person as an artist. So I owe a massive debt to that place that I will always keep it in my heart for that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Home
and
from
also it's
home.
super interesting to hear that you heard of me from the Make Your Mark thing. Because sometimes with these local radio shows, you're thinking, man, like who's listening to this? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's so
yeah,
sick that because me and you obviously like have I've seen you supporting me from time, and that's so sick that led to this, and now we're
yeah.
talking on this podcast. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think well, obviously my girlfriend at the time was running the show, and she was doing it with another friend who I was close friends with as well. So I thought, oh, I'll listen to it every week and I'll see what happens, just for the fact of supporting them more so than anything. And then obviously you came about. I was like, all right, another person to support. Let's go. And yeah, because I think I'd never heard of you. I'd never even met you because I never went to university. Probably never will at this stage. So obviously loads of people had probably heard of you because I think you'd performed a couple of times at uni events and stuff. from what I'd seen on like Instagram and stuff. So I was like, oh, well, loads of people know him, so I've got to know him now as well. And now I'm making sure that everyone gets to know you as well.
Yeah.
So
Energy.
yeah,
No, I appreciate it honestly because, as you said, like all of this, I think all of these things, all these little things, all contribute and lead to these really cool conversations that we're having right now, and just relationships with people.
hmm
Like as I said, like genuinely, the support that you specifically have given me, like means a massive amount to me. Like I know a
yeah,
lot of artists would be like, oh, it means so much, and it sounds like bullshit, but genuinely, like all of these connections to me like genuinely mean a lot. And you specifically, you've been repping it from time, and I
yeah,
won't forget that. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
As my career progresses. So yeah, man, shouts to you and
yeah.
shouts to these little opportunities that you are helping to give, and your ex at the time, Hannah, Chamomile as well, who I think both of them were involved in that show. Yeah, like all them man there.
Yeah, well, I'm just hoping it'll come back to me. And then when you're performing on the main stage of the O2 Arena, you'll give me a nice little box or something.
On this, bro, this is what I'm saying. Like, I genuinely, like, I'm not the kind of person who will forget this stuff. Like,
Yeah,
actually, I lie. I am a forgetful person generally, and I get very wrapped up in
yeah.
what
Well,
I'm
don't worry,
doing.
I'll make sure you won't forget.
But
So
yeah, if you DM me, like, I won't forget. I'll be like, bro, you'll get them front row seats, 100%. You and a +1, +5.
yeah,
I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
free
won't
tickets to the
forget this
meet and
stuff.
greet.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like all of that. Because yeah, like you lot who are here at the beginning. So if you're watching this right now and you're here at the bro, don't be shy. Pop me a DM. Tell me if the music connected, whatever. Like I'm here. Because yeah, you guys who are here at the beginning are gonna be the people who I remember when I get there, and I will get there. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Cool. I'm just looking through all the notes that I sort of had prepared, and I think we've sort of hit anything. Is there? What is your? The only thing that I've got left is what does like 2021? What do you hope to achieve, and what do you think it's got in store for you?
It's interesting. So 2021, my overwhelming feeling about this year is just curiosity, because everything is uncertain. Nothing is certain. If 2020 showed us anything, it's just nothing is certain right now.
Yeah.
So it's hard to project plans across that kind of that landscape. But with that said, of course, I projected plans anyway because I'm me and I like having I need direction and milestones to pass. So exponential growth. What you can expect from me this year, from February onwards, late February, you will hear a new song from me, a single from me, probably every month of the year, maybe every 6 weeks. Like, so I've got, so to give you an idea of where we're at right now, I've got 6 songs, 5 releases ready. Like, well, not ready, but like they're definitely
Close
happening.
to ready. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, and I know like what the timeline for them is, and they all bang. Like, there's not a miss. There's not a single miss. Like, they're all better. Like, they've all built on top of even the high level that I set on Reflections. So there's that. Plus, I've got an EP coming. I think probably in the end of the year. I think. Well, to be fair, that's early days to say. So I'm just finishing the first draft of it now. So that's like musically. Shows as soon as I can happily say, like, well, I can safely say I can bring you guys together in a safe way. I will do that. I really want to do that, but obviously right now it's just completely impossible, and I would feel irresponsible putting people at risk to do that. So I'm not going to do that, as much as I miss obviously being on stage. But I think instead of that, I'll probably start streaming on Twitch instead. So if you haven't already, well, you probably haven't, but watch out for those Twitch streams. I've already got a Twitch channel. I already done one stream for my EP. We did like a little EP release party for the true believers, them ones who really, really were riding for the EP. And so that went really well. So yeah, I'm gonna probably start doing that more regularly. So expect a variety of content there. Subscribe to the channel in advance because it's gonna slap. And in terms of just like numerical goals, 100k streams. I want to hit 100k streams this year.
Is that overall on a specific song?
On one song. So last year, I just like to add zeros to all my goals.
Yeah.
So like last year, my goal was 10K, managed to hit 20K. Amazing. Very blessed. This year, 100K. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just another zero. Um,
Nice.
so that will be, that's my goal with streaming. I'd like to hit 10K followers on Instagram. You know,
Yeah.
that's a goal that scares me a little bit, because growth on Instagram is hard for someone like me to achieve unless you just suddenly have a big
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah, I've noticed that growth on Instagram is hard unless you get your body parts out, and I don't think I can really do that on this podcast. So, yeah.
I don't think that many people are interested in seeing my nips. So, you know,
What a statement that is.
exactly. So I'd like to hit 10K, but we'll see. We'll see about that. One's a more tentative goal. But it's just, regardless, as I said, but all these goals, barring the 100K, I'm quite dead set on the 100K streams. But barring that, because, you know, everything else is harder to control. Yeah, as I said, I'm just curious. I'm literally just going to do my best. I'm going to put out as much as I can, and be the best me that I can possibly be. And hopefully that does lead to exponential growth. But yeah, that will be my aim. Exponential growth. Oh, and my last goal for this year is to turn my music, which, even though I'm taking it like is professional, like this is career mode for me right now. But currently, in terms of how it's set up, it's not really a business right now. It's passion. And I need to turn it into a business. It needs to become, if this is going to be something that's sustainable for me to do, it needs to start to feed me in some, like, even if it just sustains itself, that will be a step. So I need to, currently, the people who you know, support me have no real way to support me financially or in a realistic way. Because obviously streaming money is pittance, it's pennies, and I even have to split that amongst various parties. So yeah, like, so I'm gonna be setting up, so doing things like Twitch, probably setting up a Patreon as well. I'm gonna be sorting out ways to, like OnlyFans, exactly, spreading my cheeks, you know, all of that. But yeah, no, I'm gonna be sorting out, like, setting up the apparatus to turn this into a business. I'm not expecting to make money from music this year, but I'm expecting to have the apparatus set up by the end of the year, so that when I do get a big influx of people coming in, I can be like, here, and here are the ways that you can help me out. And help that be sustainable. And hopefully that will be able to enable it to finally become my full-time, rather than, you know, something that I can only spend like 70% of my time doing.
I think some really good goals, and to me they sound very achievable as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of your name pop up on my news feed and little stuff like that. So I'm looking forward for the year ahead for you, mate. So yeah, cool. Is there anything else that you'd like to speak about before we wrap it up, or any shout outs, anything you want to promote for yourself?
Bear
in mind, it's coming out in February, so if you,
that's the thing, it's hard to say. So in February, if it's coming out in February, I'd say look out for the song that I'm dropping at the end of the month, and I'd say make sure you check out the video that I will hopefully have dropped by now, if Pedro isn't long. So yeah, that's what I will say about that. And in terms of shout outs, I'd like to shout out you, because like, I appreciate you for having me on here, for doing this, and for just consistently supporting. And I guess I'd like to shout out anyone else who is in that same lane as you, who's sort of shown me that consistent support. Particularly, I keep saying this on my socials, if you follow me you'll know, but like the support online through like these virtual platforms and stuff that people are able to give me right now is more crucial than it has ever been. Not only because algorithmically it's helpful for me to reach new audiences, but also, more importantly, for me and myself, I can't see you lot physically. I don't have that validation anymore that I used to have, where I was like, yo, I can see what effect my music is having right now. I don't have that. So hearing from you guys, I really connected to this song, to this lyric, to this whatever, like, what you're doing is really inspiring for me. Whatever it is, like, I didn't really like this song, but like, I'm curious to see how you're doing. I don't care, like, but the fact that I'm connecting with you in any type of way is good for me. It's validating for me. It helps me want to continue.
Mm-hmm.
So please keep that coming. Do you know what I mean? Even if you don't have to always, like, I understand sometimes it's long to reach out, particularly to someone you don't know, but even like knowing, like, I see the numbers of my streams, you know what I mean? And I see the numbers. So even if it's just that silent like or that silent stream, and I just know you're somewhere doing that, like, it's massively helpful, keeps me going. So shouts to you if you've been doing that for Reflections. Keep that same energy, because this year we go bigger, we build. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, thank you very much for coming on. So, Nicholas, I don't know what to call you, Nicholas or Zoka. So I've just been calling you Zoka. That's what I'm used to calling you. But thank you very much for coming on this new series. It's been brilliant having on speaking to you because I've only met you a handful of times. So it's been brilliant to get to know you a bit better. Hopefully, if you've been listening, you've enjoyed it, and check out all of Zoka's projects that he's got coming out, whether it's music videos, songs, or EPs. Check it all out. The links to his stuff will be in the description below. If you like this episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channels as well. Yeah, that sort of wraps it all up. So we'll see you next time on Don't Know Get to Know.
You don't know, get to know.